All right, there's several questions that came through about using outside musicians, paying musicians, using non-Christian musicians, that sort of thing. So let me just kind of try to tie up all those questions together. And how do you manage substitute musicians was in here. Should we pay for talent? Here's my thing. It might not be your thing. One, I've been in church situations where we have invited non-Christians to play in the band. We said we don't want them to be vocalists. We want the, there's that worship leadership thing up front, but we feel like in the band, we do want them to be worshipers, but at the same time, if we felt they were seekers, people who were genuinely, and they kind of understood as best they could what we were trying to do, we invited them in. And in some cases, it was awesome. Like I got to baptize. In fact, Adam and I baptized a bass player together. Funny story. We'll tell you that later sometime. But yeah, we were able to baptize him, and that was a big part of because he was part of our team, and then had a couple good situations with that. But sometimes it wasn't as good, Also looking at outside musicians, I put back before Craigslist was like, ground zero for serial killers and things like that. We would put ads on Facebook on Craigslist to get people to play on a worship team. And, I had one really good thing come out of that. A guy came in who was not welcomed at another church, and, and I vetted him and was like, this guy's legit. But this other church just had that us four, no more mentality. And he became a friend and played for that church, and actually followed me and played at another church for a while. So great guy. And so look at ways of maybe inviting some people in. Bigger churches, a lot of times will have a surplus of musicians. Talk to those worship leaders and say, hey, do you have someone I can borrow? Now, as far as paying people, my feeling of paying is if I have a need and I really need to get someone in, I'll pay someone that way. But for the most part, like these people came from Craigslist, back in the day, I never paid them. I made that clear up front, like, hey, this is I guess that, this is just a generosity thing, and we would love to help you out with some gas if we can here and there. So we do things like that if they're driving a ways. So just think about that. Yeah. And Andy asked in that question, I'm really hesitant about going outside the church for talent. Can you add some insight on that? And I think you're good at hesitating. I think it goes back to that wanting more, or that not enough thing, and always wanting more and more and not being content. I think you just got to kind of trust God with, okay, is he leading us to maybe just throw the net out and see if we can find outside musicians? Or is he saying, hey, I want you to use who you have right now and see what I can do with that? Because I always liken it to the loaves and the fish. God is the great multiplier. He's going to take what we have and he's going to multiply it. And he may choose to do that with outside musicians. He may choose to do that with who we have. You just have to find out how he's working there.